All right, YouTube, how you doing? Welcome back to the channel. It is March 23rd. We got ourselves a Saturday, 8 games on the NBA slate to dive into in today's video. Like we always do, when I go through each and every one of these games, I'll give you my lean on the spread, give you my lean on the total. We'll talk about any player props that I like within the game as well. But as always, keep an eye on the pinned comment. That's where all of my final plays, so when I'm actually rolling with myself, those plays will live right in the pinned comment of this video. If you do want to fade me, make sure to keep an eye on that pinned comment. In terms of last night, was not a very fadeable night. We had the Celtics and Pistons over 223. We'll take that. And I dropped the cha-ching because we had a few guppies in the comments coming after me yesterday for that pick. Well, what can I say? It won, right? Someone was even like, the math ain't mathing on that one. Well, if I add up the totals, the math is mathing because the over hit. We hit the Pelicans plus 4.5. Zion Williamson for plus 124, under 5.5 assists. And then Chetty Holmgren on fire as of late. He cashes over 16.5 points. We did miss on Cade Cunningham's over 6.5 assists. He ended with 6. So I don't think it was a bad read, but unfortunate loss. And then Victor Wembanyama, 2 games in a row now. And that was a full unit loss that he does not cover his over 2.5 first quarter rebounds. He ends with 2. But I'm not crying over a 4-2 night. And the vibes get even better here. Let's go. Broken with his second dub in a row. Jaren Jackson Jr. over 5.5 rebounds. That is now 2 plus money plays that Broken has cashed in a row. JJJ finished with, I believe, 7 rebounds last night. We'll take it. If you guys don't know what the ride of the day is, all you got to use is hashtag ride of the day in the comments. Give me some absolute bangers. I'm shouting you out on my Twitter right here at FGuyBoston. Did I say that right? FGuyBoston, as well as in the next video, win or loss. And if you win, we continue to ride with your pick. So make sure to drop your hashtag ride of the days because your time will come, right? But we're looking for Brokens today. So shout out to Broken for another dub for us. But yeah, let's not waste any more time. Let's go ahead and jump into game number 1. Hit that subscribe button, hit that like button. Let's lock in. We got the Knicks taking on the Nets here. Right now, Knicks sitting at 7.5 point favorites. In terms of injuries here, no OG Anunoby, no Julius Randle, and obviously still no Mitchell Robinson here for New York. And then Dennis Smith Jr. is a game-time decision on the Brooklyn side of things. In terms of a spread pick, I do think that this is just a Knicks team that's playing better basketball. I mean, that shouldn't be, disputable, right? Yes, they lost last game, but it was against Denver, right? Like, they lost against one of the best teams in the league. Other than that, they had won 4 straight games. They've won 6 of the last 10. And Brooklyn, struggling right now. Only have won 2 of their last 10. They've lost 5 straight games. Last time these two teams played, the Knicks did ultimately end up covering. It was a shorter spread at minus 3.5, but the Knicks have kind of dominated here as of late. They've won 4 straight games and covered in 4 straight games against Brooklyn, 2 in New York, 2 in Brooklyn. I'll take the Knicks here. Unfortunately, it's a 7.5 point spread, which could keep it from being a final play, if I'm being honest. That just seems like it is a big number to lay, but I can't get to the Brooklyn side in this one. And from a total perspective, though that is such a low number, I'm still going to lean towards the under. I think this Knicks team really matches up very well against Brooklyn. Brooklyn actually has been pretty good shooting the above the break threes and from the perimeter as of late. The Knicks playing really well, holding opponents to a 33% field goal rate from above the break there. So I do think that, one of the spots that Brooklyn actually has been shining, the Knicks have an easy answer for. They're going to cover the rim well. They're going to cover the paint well. Those are 2 spots that Brooklyn isn't even good at scoring. So I do think Brooklyn kind of suppresses the Nets here. And I do think that, under 204, but also maybe an under of the Brooklyn team total could be in play here. Now, from my player prop perspective, let's throw it in, toss it over to Outlier here, guys. If you don't know what Outlier is, I showed it in a lot of videos. Tassos with his player prop videos shows this in a lot of videos. This literally is our favorite player prop research tool. I have a link in the pinned comment and in the description, but pinned comment for your convenience for a 7-day free trial. Like, I've talked about Outlier for years now, right? This is legit my favorite player prop research tool. All of the trends, all of the defense against. It's becoming a one-stop shop. They have odds for other plays and plays and stuff like that. Like, guys, go check it out, Outlier. 7 days free. And if you're like, well, 7 days free, what's the catch? There's no catch because at the end of 7 days, it's only $19.99 per month. Like, that's still one of the most price manageable tools out there. So go check out Outlier, guys. We swear by it. I'm looking at Nick Claxton here under 10.5 boards. We've cashed this plenty on the season. He's hit the under in 9 of his last 10 now. Don't get carried away. 5 of those games he has finished with 10 rebounds, so it's a little dicey there. But what I like is he's averaging 18 rebound chances over his last 10. And if you guys don't know how I like to look at potential assists and rebound chances, I pretty much cut that in half and say, hey, that should be the line. 18 divided by 2, right? You're looking at, excuse me, you're looking at 9 rebounds, like there should be the line. So his line should be, in my opinion, around 9, 9.5. It's at 10.5. I'm going to roll with the under. He has hit plenty of unders against New York this season. He hit one last time they played. He had 17 boards. The one thing I'll say is he played 38 minutes in that spot. He had 25 rebound chances. I can't really see that necessarily happening again. And obviously he was having a good rebound night, because 25 rebound chances, he had 17 rebounds. Like, he should be looking at 13 rebounds from those. So he was just grabbing everything in sight. And you can see defense against New York rebounds, 2 centers, 6th best in the league. And even over their last 7 games here, the 5th best. So I don't mind taking a peek at him. Yes, this scares me that he did it last time against them, but his recent history looks pretty damn good. So I'm rolling with Nick Claxton under 10.5 boards. Next up, we have Orlando taking on Sacramento. Sacramento has played a lot of basketball as of late. They played on the 18th, 20th, and 21st. Orlando's been a little bit more spread out, 17th, 19th, 21st. So they've been getting that rest day in between. And they've won 8 of their last 10 games. They've covered in 8 of their last 10, 5 straight as well. At home this season, covered in 73% of games. I can't really get to the Sacramento side of things, so I'll lean towards Orlando in this spot. Gary Harris is listed as a game-time decision. Not going to be something that really matters to me either way. No major injuries. Or Kevin Huerter out, but he's been out for Sacramento here. I'll take Orlando. This is the last game for Sacramento on this road trip as well. So, they played Toronto and then lost to Washington. That was a back-to-back spot. And now they play Orlando. Like, they go back and play a decent homestead in, I think, a couple days, like the 24th or something, or 25th. So I do think this is a good spot for Orlando at home. Sacramento probably just wants to get back to the West Coast after this East Coast trip. So I'll lean towards Orlando here, minus the points. More situation-based. I know Orlando's playing better basketball, but I do think, a lot of people are going to be on Orlando. It's probably going to be the public pick, but we've even seen this year, as well as kind of the history between these two teams, like Sacramento pushes the pace in this, and it's tough for Orlando to stick around. In their last 10 games, Sacramento have won 7 of them, and the over has hit in 9 of those last 10. So I'm going to lean towards the over. That's where I think Sacramento can kind of push the pace. But yeah, I just wanted to kind of throw that out to you guys. Like, this looks too easy for an Orlando pick, which kind of scares me. Like, it kind of smells like a trap, because Sacramento has dominated this matchup in years past, and the over has gone, plenty over, 9 of the last 10, and Sacramento's more of an over team for sure than Orlando is. It's not like they're an absolute over type team, but definitely more of an over team than Orlando. When it comes to player props, throw it back over to Outlier here. I like Wendell Carter Jr. This is a lean I had last game against the Pelicans, right? Over 1.5 assists. He finished with 4. I'm really bummed I did not make it a final play. They're allowing the 6th most assists to opposing centers. That is Sacramento. And he's hit this obviously in 7 straight games, 8 of his last 10. Last time he played them, he's hit this in 3 straight games. So Wendell Carter Jr., hopefully we didn't miss the train with that last game, because we didn't pull the trigger. I think we might be pulling the trigger on him. Over 1.5 assists today. His potential assists here over his last 20 games, 2.7, but it's getting better. Last 10 games, 3.3. Last 5, 4. So he's getting more and more potential assists per game. I like that spot from today. Atlanta taking on Charlotte. This is probably one of my least favorite spots on today's board. I'll lean towards Atlanta here, minus the point, just because I can't really trust Charlotte as far as I could throw them. They've lost 3 straight games, lost 8 of their last 10. Atlanta not playing much better basketball. They've lost plenty as of late too. So this is not going to make it to the final plays, I don't think. But I'll take Atlanta minus the points. In terms of a total 214, that does seem like super low for these two teams, but in their last 10 games here, Charlotte and Atlanta ranked 24th and 26th in pace. So like average 25th pace. Like, that is pretty damn low. So I guess I'll lean towards, screw it. I'll lean towards the over, because I do think that there's going to be a lack of defense here. So regardless of pace, like, these are 2 pretty bad defenses. So I'll lean towards the over. But again, guys, I don't think this game makes its way into the final plays, but I've done crazier things, right? Like, I've said that before, and then I'm like, as the day progresses, I'm like, okay, I kind of like the over, because the mind's a weird place, especially this one, right? But honestly, no player props jump off the page, and this game is kind of like a mad game to me. All right, not to follow up a mag game with like a capital underscore bold, italicized, all caps, whatever, mag game. We got Washington taking on Toronto. This is also a game that I don't necessarily envision being a final play because there's tons of injuries on Toronto's side of things. They're bad. So is Washington. But I do, so I guess in terms of a lean here, I'll trust Vegas laying those 6 points. Like, why would they do that for two bad teams? Give me Washington minus the 6. In terms of a total, I don't mind taking a peek at the over either. Both these teams play with a fast pace and have terrible transition defense. Can you hear it? I feel the voice starting to kick out. Hopefully we don't have an episode like we did a couple days ago, but we're still sick over here. So I'll lean towards the over slightly. And then a player prop I don't mind is going to be Kelly Olynyk, under 6.5 rebounds for plus money. If this was in the minuses, minus 110 or so, I wouldn't be rolling with it, but plus 110 for a guy that's cashed in 9 of his last 10 and in 17 of his last 20, and he's only averaging 8.8 rebound chances. Like, I know that the Washington Wizards are a terrible rebounding team, allowing the most rebounds to opposing centers. I get it, but 10 rebound chances, right? He should be grabbing 5 rebounds in this game, just rebound chances wise. So hopefully Washington can do something and box out, but again, that could be a plus money flyer. I don't necessarily hate it. Guys, before we jump into the Celtics and the Bulls game, I do want to talk to you about a nice little deal over on Sleeper that pertains to this game. Jason Tatum, they've knocked his points total down to 0.5. If you do want to take that for new users today, Sleeper is an awesome DFS pick'em app. You can use the link in the pinned comment. Get this Tatum square as well as a first deposit matched. You throw in $100, they'll match it. You get a free $100. You now have $200 to play with. You can throw in $50, they'll match it. Anything you want to throw in, they will match. Go check it out, guys. I've been loving Sleeper. I've been posting over on my YouTube shorts as well as Instagram, Ev Picks. Make sure to follow me there. All of my socials will be rotating here and on TikTok. All of that extra player prop content. That's where Sleeper comes in clutch with all the deals that they're throwing out. So go check it out, guys. Each and every pick you put into a slip has its own multiplier and payout. So it is pretty damn cool and differentiates itself from all of the other apps out there right now. So go check out Sleeper. You will not regret it. That link is in the pinned comment. Let's go ahead and jump back into the slate before this throat just gives in. Pause. All right, we got the Bulls taking on the Celtics here, like I said. Right now, Bulls getting 7 points at home. Understandably so. The Celtics team has just been obviously a very, very good team all year long, covering plenty too. They've won 8 of their last 10. 7 of their last 10 they've covered in. They are on a back-to-back here. Celtics in back-to-back situations this season. I'm not going to say, they obviously haven't been bad or anything like that. Still a strong team, but their cover rate does drop. I think it's to like 60%, which you're probably like, wow, that's not even that bad. But the way they've been playing as of late, they have a 70% cover rate, right? Bulls with a rest advantage. They do have a 60% cover rate with rest advantage. They do have rest advantage here. They last played on the 21st, but they've been a little too inconsistent for me. So give me the Celtics minus the points. Obviously, there's going to be injuries in the Celtics game to talk about just because there seems like there always is. Al Horford, Jason Tatum, Drew Holiday, all listed as game time decisions, as is Alex Caruso and Kobe White on the other side. So monitor those injuries before you throw anything in, guys. Obviously, big injuries on the Celtics side of things, but not necessarily something I'm afraid of as of right now. If Caruso does play, I don't mind his over 3.5 assists here, averaging 7 potential assists per game over his last 10, and nearly 7 in his last 20. And he's hit this in 5 straight games. Last time he played the Celtics, he had 5 assists as well on 7 potential assists. So that could be a player prop that I like in that spot. In terms of a total, I think it's a pretty sharp line. I will lean towards the over just because I do think that this is a Celtics team that just kind of is, not a guaranteed, I don't want to say that, but a 120 plus team right now. And if you're going to give me a total of 220 and the Celtics could score 120 of that, I'll take it. Now, the Bulls are going to be one of the better defenses that they've played as of late, so that should obviously be factored in, and it is factored into the line, but I'm not going to stray away from it. I'll still lean towards the over, but I don't think I'm as confident as I was yesterday in it because of the defense that they're playing. Next up, we have Houston taking on Utah. Houston's playing too good and too well to fade at this moment. Though this is such a high line, they've covered in 9 of their last 10. They've won 9 of their last 10 as well. I got to lean towards Houston here at home, playing good basketball against a Utah team that is struggling. 2-8 straight up, 5-5 against the spread, so that's where it's kind of worrisome. But Houston just not fadeable right now. In terms of the total, 228, slight lean towards the under in this spot for me. Houston's been playing with actually some decent pace. Utah kind of upper middle of the pack, but I think Houston's defense is going to kind of come through in this one. With their road games, they do play better defense. Home games, they do play better defense, so I do think the under is in play here. Now, from a player prop perspective, this is kind of a weird one. Looking at Keontae George under 3.5 rebounds. Houston allowing the 8th fewest, so one of the better teams in the league when it comes to preventing point guards from grabbing the rock. And Kante George, his line right now is 3.5. He's only averaging 4.9 rebound chances over his last 10 games. In his last 5, it does jump up a little bit to 5.8, but still not enough for me to take the over. So I'll take his under 3.5 rebounds. We had to dig for that one because that was one that didn't jump off the page where I was like, I feel like there's something there. We got to dig, and we found it. I do think that is a good play today. All right, next up, we have the Spurs taking on the Suns in this one. I'm going to lean towards Phoenix just because this is a Spurs team on a back-to-back here and not a team already that we trust in the first place, right? So why look at them and be worried? In Phoenix, you can make the argument playing some good basketball. 6 of the last 10 they've won. They've won 2 straight against teams that are, meh, right? But still, better than San Antonio's doing, losing 7 of their last 10. And like I said, they are on a back-to-back here. San Antonio in no-rest situations, covering just 45% of games this season. Total sitting at 229. I'll take the over here as well. San Antonio should have tired legs on back-to-backs. They've covered in 60% of their overs here. Is Phoenix an over team? Not necessarily, but I could see them scoring, like they have been, 120 plus in this spot, making this pretty close and something that we might have to sweat out, but still giving the over a chance. From a player prop perspective, last try with Victor Wembanyama. I don't want to lose this 3 straight because we hit it in about 6 straight, right? But I'm looking at his over 2.5 first quarter rebounds again. I'm a glutton for punishment, I guess, because this is obviously a play that we won a bunch, and now I'm just like giving my money back. Like, here you go, 2 straight games he doesn't hit it, but 2.5 rebounds. I don't mind this spot. Going up against Nurkic at the center position, you might be like, that is a tough center matchup. One, Nurkic's game time decision, but either way, Wembanyama is so much more mobile and shifty than Nurkic. I think you might be able to snag a couple from him that he normally wouldn't get. So I'm looking at his over 2.5 first quarter rebounds. This will be the last. We retired this play for a while until he starts hitting it again, if he does not cash, because that'd be 3 times in a row that he doesn't cash. All right, for Portland and Denver, there are no player props out right now. That's because, not that I think they're truly injured, but we have both Murray and Jokic on the injury report as game time decisions. Same thing with Simons, and DeAndre Ayton, I believe, was just ruled out. So a lot of change just as we started to record here. But yeah, I mean, I think 13's too many points to lay. I'm leaning Portland. I'm not playing Portland, so we're sounding the psycho alert alarm for the lean here. But this is a Denver team that all year long I've been afraid of the big number at home, right? I've been honest about that, even though I think Denver wins this game. 13 seems like it's a little bit too much, so take that for what it's worth. I'm not telling you to go race to the books and throw down Portland plus the 13 points, but you could get, say you did it right now and you're kind of gambling, but that's what we're doing anyways. You could get a Jokic and Murray less Denver team here, and you just got 13 points with Portland, so could be something to consider. In terms of total, I'll also lean towards the over because I just think that, if Denver sits those guys, we just have kind of a run and gun game on our hands with, Porter and I guess Aaron Gordon kind of running the show here and running shop. So I'll lean towards the over as well. But like I said, no player props are even out right now, or they all got stripped off as of late in this game. And guys, it's going to wrap it up for today's show. Hope you guys did enjoy. If you made it this far into the video, you know what to comment. If you made it this far into the video, go look at that timestamp and you know what to comment if you are a real one and not a guppy. But make sure you guys are subscribed, hitting that like button as well. You guys are the absolute best. We're still sick, so apologies if the energy's low or something like that. I'm trying to bring it up. Hopefully you guys can't even tell, but yeah. Between games here, I'm cutting and I'm like almost dying. So we're pushing through, but I hope you guys do appreciate that. And yeah, we'll catch you guys in the next one, all right? Peace out.